Well, to every manager that has been asked, about what we call the selection headache, he has been like, that's what I want. I want to be having my fully fit squad obviously come up and do the due diligence. And this is what Erik ten Hag is going to respond to on who is really going to be his number 9. Chose number 9 for his team of Manchester United. After Joshua Zirkzee came in through and put in a very huge starting step, everyone was like, who is really gonna take Erik ten Hag to? Who is really gonna be the starting number 9 for the club of Manchester United? And guess what? Erik ten Hag has come out and spoken hugely about it. And Joshua Zirkzee has also come up and obviously had lots of things to say. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys? And where you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name. And Ten Hag was asked about Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus Hojlund. And this all happens after the return of Rasmus Hojlund, and he traveled with Manchester United to London in the game of football that's going to be played at Selhurst. It's called the Selhurst Stadium. Ten Hag said different profiles, which is good because they can complement each other. You can use them depending on the needs of the match, which is very good for a group. So Erik ten Hag, however much that dilemma is there, but he has gone ahead obviously come out and say that I can play them together. And he was like reading my mind because yesterday I was on a TikTok live and I was really explaining my thoughts about these two who is supposed to be the ultimate number 9 for the club of Manchester United. And I was like, these two players can be played in the same team and they can be played differently. That was my intake. And exactly, Erik ten Hag has come out and really say the same. But I know there is dilemma because Joshua Zirkzee has come in through and obviously put in a very good shift that you won't really drop him, And Rasmus Hojlund is that firebrand. You get? He's a firebrand of a striker. He was here, he scored in goals, and it would look bad for not to trust him because when he's available, he obviously scores those goals. You understand? And I've already told you that with the likes of Amad Diallo coming in through and obviously putting in a shift, obviously creativity of Manchester United is really going to be up into the sky. So for me, I think the selection dilemma is there. But I know with the two with the two games that we're going to be playing per week, I think these two players are not going to be complaining of enough playing time. Now, like today, if Joshua Zirkzee starts, then on Thursday, as we play into the UEFA Europa League, Rasmus Hojlund will start. You get? If Rasmus Hojlund starts during the weekend, midweek won't be far for Zirkzee to obviously come on and read the line. So, I like that competition. It's really healthy. And these are really young strikers. Rasmus Hojlund is 21 years of age and Joshua Zirkzee is 23. I would love to see either these two really be at Manchester United for the next 6-7 years and see how many goals these two would have gone ahead obviously score amongst themselves because they are really good. But the manager is really having that selection headache and the dilemma is there. But all I know is that Rasmus Hojlund is really going to be the number 9 because I think he is really that kind of player who is really clinical. When you look at the chances that Joshua Zirkzee has gone ahead to miss out, I believe if it is Rasmus Hojlund, he scores. For example, when you're playing against Liverpool, that header that he had to make, when he was in the mouth of the goal, I don't think that Rasmus Hojlund misses that. Then, when we are playing against Southampton, I don't think that those 3 chances that he gets in the box, those 3 chances that he gets, obviously in the 6 box area of Southampton, Rasmus Hojlund misses them. Rasmus Hojlund has shown us that he's really clinical and just get him that ball and we'll finish it. So I don't know whether Joshua Zirkzee hasn't wanted to settle in very well, but Rasmus Hojlund, he's a more clinical finisher than Zirkzee. Maybe Zirkzee will prove me wrong by the end of the season, or the season really grows. But all what I'm going to hate to see, Rasmus Hojlund is a clinical finisher. That is it. And he's this kind of person who can really go and really do what we call a solo run. So that's what I believe in. Though Ten Hag is like, they are two different profiles of strikers and they can play together. But I also hinted onto that in a system of 4-2-2, obviously you can have Rasmus Hojlund and Joshua Zirkzee, as Rasmus Hojlund leads the line and Joshua Zirkzee goes ahead to obviously play behind him, and that will happen a lot when Manchester United maybe is really looking in for a win, or when are really trailing down. The manager will throw these two onto the pitch to look for that goal. I understand, because they are all strong, they are fast, and they are really good onto the ball. That is Ten Hag for you, and I agree with him, but I think there is a little bit of dilemma on who is really going to be starting or not. Now, was it a target for you to play in the Premier League? Zirkzee said, to be honest, not really. I watched it, but I never said to myself, I want to play in the Premier League. This club is just huge. It's a club that attracted me, not really the league. So, in his plans, he was nowhere thinking of playing into the Premier League. But when Man United knocked on the door, he forgot AC Milan. He was in Italy and was like, AC Milan is one of the best teams in the world. If they can really meet my agent's requests, then we can really give it a go and see to it that everything really comes on as planned. So the man called Joshua Zirkzee never saw himself playing in the Premier League, but he was like, all right, Man United knocks on the door, why can't I go that side? And I told you during this transfer that even the agent of Joshua Zirkzee was a big beneficiary in this deal, because having a club at Manchester United will attract other players to obviously sign under your agency, because they'll be like, if you've managed to obviously take a player to Manchester United from Bologna, then every player will be like, if I'm under his agency, he has a direct path to the club of Manchester United. So Joshua Zirkzee came in throughout Manchester United, and I think for me, he's really looking good, and he might be one of those on the score sheet today as we take on a side called Crystal Palace. Then he was asked about how it is working with Ruud van Nistelrooy. He said, I want to keep it a secret. It's great. He's been a striker, detailed work, watching footage, looking back, the way he works with you, that's very important. I can relate to that. You can learn a lot from him. Obviously, if you're to talk about two strikers in the world that went ahead, obviously have the world at their feet, Ruud van Nistelrooy and Benjamin McCarthy, obviously, Ruud van Nistelrooy did a better job than Benedict McCarthy. Now, if Benedict McCarthy came through to Manchester United and helped Marcus Rashford to transform himself into scoring 30 goals a season, 2022-2023, that means Joshua Zirkzee is lucky, because if he's really going to be having this man with him, he's going to turn out to be one of the deadliest strikers in the world, because he knows what beats a defender, and he's a well-experienced person who will come in through and obviously put in the required shift altogether. So I like it most when the side of these players appreciating the coaching staff, and he's like, I'm going to keep it a secret. He shows him the footage, very detailed, and tells him, here you should be acting like this. He has to analyze every game and tell him that here you did a mistake, you should be doing this and this and this and this and this and this. And now this is when you get to know what work these players really do when they are on the training. They can train, I think, for like 3 hours a day, but these people, the video analysts and the coaches, can really attend to these players singly. You understand? So working with Ruud van Nistelrooy is a dream come true for Joshua Zirkzee. They both come from Netherlands. They are Dutch. They speak the same language, and it's very easy for him to obviously say that everything really moves on as planned. So Joshua Zirkzee is like, he wants to keep his secret, and obviously Ruud van Nistelrooy is really going to improve very many forwards. When you look at that goal of Marcus Rashford that he scores against Southampton, I tell you, it is a typical training goal, and you saw to it that in the during the national break, because he wasn't part of England, he was really doing those drills, and he knew them very well. And I think very soon we might see him score the same goal outside the challenge box area when that ball curls into the back of the net. And I think he's really going in for that curling technique, and I like it because every time you go in for technique over energy, it will obviously be very easy, and that's what he did. Don't go for energy, go for technique, and you'll score those goals. And Ruud van Nistelrooy scored those goals hugely, and you're gonna see our front three score more of those goals in the coming games. And even today, you might see them do the needful. And then they asked Joshua Zirkzee, who are your Premier League idols from the past? He said Cristiano Ronaldo, Robin van Persie, and Dennis Bergkamp. Obviously, being Dutch, Robin van Persie has to influence you because he came from Netherlands and he played for Manchester United. Then for Dennis Bergkamp, he played for Arsenal and he really looked a very, very good player. And those three, I think, are really good, and it was on point because Ronaldo dominated the Premier League, and I think for like 3 seasons, from the season of 2007 to the season of 2008, 2009, the guy was on his peak. That's why he even went ahead to win a Ballon d'Or during that duration, and he left for Real Madrid. So, your thoughts onto Ten Hag in Joshua Zirkzee Hojlund Dilemma are welcome in the comment section below. Tell me, who do you think Ten Hag should rely on to be the number 9 or the focal point leader or the apex of our attack in the coming games? May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and bye-bye.